1939, when an innocent mind was sentenced to death without ever understanding what was happening to him. Joe Arridy, a name in American judicial history wrapped in such injustice, sorrow, and innocence that anyone who hears it is left silent for a long time. In 1939, he was sent to his death in Colorado's gas chamber for a crime he could neither understand nor had ever committed. His IQ was only 46, a level of intellect where the world is seen with childlike simplicity, innocent, vulnerable, and trusting of everything. He was a childlike man who never truly realized that death was approaching him. Warden Roy Best, who closely observed Joe in his final days, often said he was so gentle, so simple-minded that he didn't even know what death was. In his last days, he spent most of his time playing with toy trains. Those small, colorful toys became his entire world, a world without courts, punishment, or death, only a child's happiness. The night before his execution, he picked up his favorite train, placed it in another prisoner's hand, smiled, and said, "You can keep this. I like it." He did not know that by the next morning, he would no longer exist. A crime that never happened and a charge cruelly forced upon him. In 1936, a 15-year-old was murdered in Pueblo, Colorado. The police already had another suspect in custody, but haste, pressure, and a weak investigation shifted the entire blame onto Joe. Even the police later admitted that Joe could not understand questions, said yes to almost everything, would say anything just to please others, had no idea about the consequences of his words. There was no evidence, there were no witnesses, only a so-called confession, born from pressure, fear, and innocence. A confession that Joe himself never truly understood. January 6, 1939, the moment injustice won. He was seated in the gas chamber. He was smiling. He was not afraid, because he didn't even know what fear meant. And that is the truth that tears the heart apart. He left this world as if he were part of a game. 72 years later, the door to truth opened. Decades later, when the case was reviewed, nearly every expert reached the same conclusion. Joe Arridy was innocent. In 2011, Colorado officially granted him a posthumous pardon, but justice, as always, arrived far too late. An additional truth: America's happiest death row prisoner. Historians sometimes refer to Joe Arridy as America's happiest death row prisoner. But that happiness was not born of justice. It came from the tragic reality that his mind could not comprehend death. A man who was a child, not in age, but in heart and mind. And even today, we have yet to truly hear the scream hidden behind his smile.